You know what really grinds my gears? That at this big age, okay, my dumbass is still falling for marketing tactics. I don't know what to tell you, okay? I was being beat over the head with Instagram ads to the point where I was experiencing FOMO. I was like, everybody has the Lochby. And you know what, Lochby? Count your fucking days, dude. Okay, because it was the smartest marketing campaign I've seen in a long time from a stationery brand, and you guys did phenomenal. And it really pisses me off. Okay, because I didn't think I was gonna like it. I was like, it's too bulky. I don't even like folios like that. The aesthetic is just not me. I didn't expect to love it. I genuinely didn't. But after a few months and dragging it across multiple airports in different countries and scribbling atop the mountains of Colombia, this has gained a permanent spot in my stationery rotation. Okay. And it's not perfect. Okay, don't get me wrong. It's actually kind of annoying in some ways that most great things are. But today, I want to do a deep dive and kind of help you figure out whether it's a system that works for you or not. So, my name is Bryant, also known as That Journaling Guy. Welcome to my channel. We are going to do a little bit of a discussion on whether the Lochby system, specifically the Lochby Folio A5, is something that works for you. If you're new to my channel, the way I like to do these deep dives and kind of guides are by breaking it down into a pros and cons list. So we're going to start with the pros. And if you're new, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave a like. The first thing we're going to talk about is the build. Okay. The first thing you're going to notice when picking up a Lochby Folio is going to be the quality. Okay. The material. It's not like any kind of stationery that you've really held before, or probably what you think of when you think of stationery. This feels like gear. All right. Like the type of gear that you find in the trunk of a Jeep. The type of gear that like you take on a hike. That is what this feels like. The best way that I could describe like this folio design language is like field tested. Okay, it's the wax canvas kind of feel on the outside that feels like it could survive being chucked into a car or a monsoon. It could be, it like screams to me, I'm not afraid to be in your backpack. Okay, you can feel the quality as soon as you pick it up. It's tactile, it's textured, it's somewhat like it still feels solid. And over time, you know, which is one of my bigger complaints just in general, because I don't love the materials, that this canvas starts to pick up scuffs and marks, and it doesn't stay pristine. And a lot of people really love that because it's the same way the Traveler's Journal kind of patinas over time. They're like, it builds character. It kind of makes it your own. I don't love that, but regardless, this material feels sturdy. It feels good. It feels like the stuff inside could take a bullet. It's that serious. I'm not even joking. And really, it's not like a sleek cover that's meant to just sit on your desk. This is the best way that I could describe right now its build and quality, okay? It will be your notebook's bodyguard. That's it. That's probably the title of this video, okay? Because that's what it feels like. It is your notebook's bodyguard. And you're probably like,
Brian, what does it mean? What does it mean that it's your notebook's bodyguard?
What I'm saying is that the build feels like intentional and overbuilt, but in the sense that it's going to protect whatever's inside at whatever cost, okay? It feels different from anything and everything else that exists in the journaling space right now. I'll be honest, I haven't found something. Here, this is the best way that I could explain this. Before having the Lochby A5 Folio, I didn't realize just how reluctant I was to take things like my stationery products out into the real world. Okay. Like I have a journal that I write in every 2 or 3 days with my deepest, most personal thoughts that I rarely ever took out of the house, because I was afraid it was going to get ruined. I was afraid it was going to get stolen. I was afraid it was going to crease and bend, or I would spill. Like, I would genuinely only take it out if I knew that I was going to go to a cafe. With that being said, that journal's in here, right here. That is how much I trust this fucking thing. That is how much I trust the quality and the build of this folio. It's my most prized journal. It really is. I've been writing in it for like a year and a half, and it has my deepest, darkest, most emotional moments, to the point where I would be devastated if it was gone, destroyed, or taken. And it's in here. Okay? So really, what I'm saying is, one, it solved a problem I didn't even realize I had. Okay, I didn't realize I had this kind of ingrained fear of taking my stationery out of the house until I wasn't, or I didn't. I was afraid of taking it out in certain places, and regardless, I was just afraid of like throwing it in my backpack. It solved a problem I didn't know I had. But this Lochby and the quality and the build of it made me stop treating my stationery like it was precious, right? Like that background noise of like, my stuff might break, it's gonna get damaged, I'm gonna lose years of precious memories. It disappeared, it reduced the friction that I didn't know existed. And that's massive. Like that, I can't tell you, I know that I'm glazing this product. I know it sounds like I'm on my knees with two hands. This isn't really the kid-friendly, channel, but you get what I'm saying. It's huge. This is what real durability looks like, okay, in stationery. This is it. This is the most safe I have felt with stationery ever in my years of creating content and journaling. It's that good. The folio is that good. And now it's not perfect. I've already said that. But this is it. This is what being overbuilt feels like, but this is what it means to feel protected. Okay, but that's just the material. The second pro to the Lochby is the organization. And what I mean by that is that the Lochby is an entire journaling system in itself. Think a la Hobonichi and Traveler's Company notebook system, right? It's going to have inserts. It's going to have, pen folios as well that you can store your other pens and stationery with. But one of the biggest things, other than the material, is going to be how organized it is. Okay, this is the inside. It's got pockets for everything. Now, I don't like jamming a lot of things into my stationery. I just kind of like bringing the bare necessities. So inside of here, I had a pack of stickers that I like to use when journaling. I also have these little tabs that I used for my journals or for my books when I'm reading. At the top, I have one of my fountain pens here that you can easily just pull out. It's snug. Don't judge it. That's on me. But I feel, I put one of my Twisby pens in there. Easy peasy lemon squeeze me. Then, see, it's the clip. It's a little strong. Pop that in there. I have two inserts, one dot grid, and then one plain. Then my personal journal, a little bit of a ruler, and then I just put my name like at the top here in a little copper, plate. It works in the same way that a traveler's notebook does. You're gonna have some rubber bands in the middle, that same kind of quality. Oh, and I also have a pencil board in here. Like, what are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? That's cool. You could actually stick another journal in there probably, I'm not gonna lie. But 2 ribbons for bookmarking. Gonna have the rubber to kind of section off the half of the inserts the same way that you would in a traveler's notebook. And it's just compact. It's got space to put this stuff in it, right? You can fit up to, I would say, probably 5 inserts in this folio and still not have it be like incredibly chunky and disastrous. But I think the best way that I like to describe the organization, right, of this folio is that it assumes a level of intentionality. Now, what do I mean by that? You will not be able to fit every piece of stationery that you want to carry with you in this folio. Instead, you're kind of going to need to prioritize. What stickers do I want to take? What pen do I want to take? Do I want to fit other little pieces of ephemera in it, you know? But with that intentionality comes the idea that you can pack everything that you need to journal in this one system. Kind of in a way, I like to think of it not only as your notebook's bodyguard, but kind of like a mini command center, okay, for your journaling needs. Not only do I have my personal notebook there, I have a commonplace notebook, and I don't only have a commonplace notebook in there, I have a sketchbook, right? So like the idea is I can just carry this around and have everything that I would need, my essentials, my mini command center, to be able to get my thoughts down, to be able to be creative, to be able to express myself in one package. That's the kind of organization. There's a pocket in the back too that you can slip all kinds of things. Sometimes I like to clip my traveler's notebook like clips here in the back because I don't want it to ruin the journals in the front. You can put more stickers. I've seen people put their Kindles in here. It's a little tight, but it fits a lot. Then you have the handle. Boom, carried around. Chilling. Let's go. Where are we going? We going camping? I got my journaling stuff with me. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a mini command center that you can take what you actually need, bring that intentionality with you, all in one place. That's the kind of organization that you could expect from the Lochby A5 folio. Now, I know I skipped over this, and I shouldn't have. It's zipped like this, all around, okay? With this, and we'll come back to this, because not only do I love this design, I may have put it as a con, and we'll come back to that because I think it's a hyper-specific issue with the build, but also like a psychological issue. We'll come back to it, okay? We'll come back to it. But with that, the organization is really important. Now, I know I kind of leaked into the Third Pro, but the Third Pro really is like the customization and how compact everything is. Like, there's like a quiet adaptability that comes with this system, in the sense that you can change things out in the same way that you can change something out of the Hobonichi folio, that those exist, in the way that you could change things out of a traveler's notebook, right? Like there's inserts, there's a planner insert, there's a dotted, there's plain, there's lined. It's a lot of customization, and it being an A5 size means you could fit any kind of A5 notebook. So I have a Tomoe River paper notebook inside of my folio. You can have a Leuchtturm, you can have a Moleskine, you can have really any kind of notebook on top of the inserts, which comes down to like an incredible level of customization, right? Like, you have your favorite notebook. Well, this is not only the protection that you need, but this is how you can carry it around. It's functional. It feels good to write in when you open stuff up. Like, I'm saying that in the sense that it's compact size. It's not overwhelming amounts of storage capabilities really is a pro, because I feel like there's a trend of over customization right now. You know, like everything has to be modular. Everybody thinks everything has to be their own thing. Like they have to be able to customize it so that it is the only thing that exists in that way. And you know what I'm saying? Like there's insert swaps of 100 different inserts. You have different kinds of layouts and configurable papers. You have 700 million pockets to fit every single one of your pens individually. This is like a quiet kind of customization, You know, it's a quiet adaptability. You take what you need and the intention is there. You don't have to fit everything, you fit what you need. And I love that. And it's a big change in a world that feels like overconsumption is prioritized and celebrated. Not here, not with the Lochby. So to break it down, right, to summarize, it's going to be the material and the build quality. That'll be pro number 1. Pro number 2 is the organization. Okay. And then number 3 is going to be the customization. It is customizable enough. Has enough organization, and the build and the ruggedness of it is more than enough. It exceeds anything that I could put into words right now. Now, talking a little bit about the inserts. The creator of the Lochby system was like, the Lochby exists because they ended up loving fountain pens so much that they felt there wasn't something for everyday use for their fountain pens. They kind of got rid of that friction where you needed like super specific notebooks and stuff. They created their own paper, like notebooks, their own inserts. All of their inserts are fountain pen friendly, which I think is huge. It is huge. You know, notoriously Field Notes isn't great with fountain pens, and a lot of people kind of complain that they really love that rugged aesthetic, but they can't use their fountain pens with it. This is kind of the solution to that. And so really this whole system was born with fountain pens in mind. And let me be honest, the quality of the paper is good. It's not the best I've ever used. It's absolutely not the worst. It's good. It's good enough that, like, it's not going to blow your mind away. You're not going to be like, wow, this is the most incredible paper. It's not like Hobonichi when I first used Hobonichi and it was the most mind-blowing experience I have ever had with my fountain pens. No, it's good. You're not going to experience things like feathering or ghosting. You know, overall, it feels good. They work well. I like the inserts, but they're not the most... I don't want to dedicate too much time to them because I don't think they're spectacular. I don't think they're the most amazing things. They're just part of the system that you can use, and they're okay. So with that, I think I'm going to end the pro section. Hopefully that's enough information for you to get an idea of whether that works for you or not. But before making that decision, we're going to talk about the cons. Okay, so I know I was just going crazy about how amazing it is, how great it is, this peace of mind. But turns out that one of its biggest pros is actually one of its biggest cons, in my opinion. Again, I always try to be honest with you guys. I talk about mostly my experience so that you have an idea of how it fits with you. Con number 1. Why'd I go like this? No. Is going to be the zipper. Okay? And you're going to be like,
What, the zipper? You just said how amazing. It was your notebook's bodyguard.
yes, exactly. That's the point. I'm not talking about the durability of the zipper. I think it's amazing. I think the zippers are phenomenal. What I'm specifically talking about is this little 1-inch gap that you see inside of your Lochby. You see that? You see how it's not completely sealed? It's a tiny gap. It's very, very small. But in a product that feels deliberately built, that partial little zipper gap feels surprisingly careless. Now, looking deeper into it, obviously there's a reason it exists that way. The reason it exists that way is so that when it is completely open, it lies completely open. Its placement in that way ensures that you always have a flat writing surface and you're not going to get any bulges. But the problem is, I just sold this to you as the notebook's bodyguard, right? And this may seem like a nitpick, but let me explain. Suppose you are installing a steel vault door, okay? That's supposed to protect everything inside. But The vault door has a mail slot carved into the side. Now, nothing huge is going to get through, right? But the illusion of total security is kind of broken. And that illusion matters, especially in something that's marketed as rugged and travel ready. It symbolically breaks the seal. And I know it's getting a little like philosophical, but in a zippered folio like this, the emotional cue is supposed to be like, this is sealed. This is protected. This is private. When you zip it closed, it's not just you securing your notebook and your tools, you're securing your thoughts. There's a ritual, there's a closure, but that little gap feels wrong, okay? Technically, it's not wrong. I understand the purpose, but it feels wrong. It feels like any little thing, it prevents it from total protection. If there's water that gets into that slot, your stuff in there is fucked. You'll start getting debris in there that could start ruining the pen that you have or the notebook pages. It's the tiniest little vulnerability that just keeps it from being perfect. And I get it, I do, but fuck, man, does that tiny little gap just throw me over the edge in thinking that if a plane fell into the ocean, my shit would survive. It would not. Just in the back of the head, you always think. Anyway, it feels dumb. It is a tiny little nitpick. Overall, it is still a very well-protected system, but just wouldn't go getting any liquids near it, even though the canvas is very good at being water, like hydrophobic. Just be careful. Be careful with that little gap, man. Be careful because you got a little bit of a gap on the side here too. Tiniest little gap, but psychologically, it adds up. It makes you rethink things. Okay, now, this sounds like I'm beating a dead horse, okay? Because con number 2 is the price. And I feel like a lot of the deep dives of stationery that I do these days, it always is a con. I haven't found something that's like the best bang for your buck. Shit is expensive these days. It's getting more expensive by the day. There's so much uncertainty in the world with the marketplace, like the job market, people, the value in the dollar. It's insane. But and it always becomes more difficult to justify these kind of price points. Now, let's talk dollars. Money, dollars. Let's have an honest conversation about what it costs to buy into the Lochby system. It's an ecosystem, right? The folio itself will run you $60-ish. It's not crazy, right? It feels relatively normal, but that you're just getting the folio and you're just getting one insert. The system includes other inserts. It includes a pen case. It includes a tool roll, which will run you $60, and the pen tool case will cost $40, and all these little doohickeys start to add up. But the inserts is what really pissed me off, dude. I was so fucking mad about this. So I got my Lochby system. Cool. Comes with one insert. I was like, you know what? I want to have one of each to kind of feel out what's going on. For over a month, almost 2 months of me checking every single day, I could not find a fucking pack of dotted journals. I'm like not on Amazon, not on their website. There was no restock. There was no news. And it was the most frustrating thing, to the point where I had to get like dupes. I got dupes of the same size dot grid inserts. But not only could I not find them, the only way to buy them was in a bundle that cost you $35, which is nuts. Each insert has about 72 pages. They're staple bound inserts, okay? They're not the craziest thing. They end up coming to around like $10 per insert, which isn't nuts, but you're being forced to pay the $35. It's like $36, and if it's on sale, you're lucky you get it for $33, but holy shit, I guess every time that I want one notebook, I have to buy the entire pack. And that's like a reoccurring like thing that with 72 pages, you're more likely to be buying more of these inserts more often. And it feels kind of devious and a little bit fucked up. So I went the dupes. I got them for $9, a pack of like 6 that work the same way, maybe not the same paper quality, but fuck is it hard to justify those inserts. Not only could I not find them to build the framework of this system that I wanted to get into, but the 30, 40 bucks, man, come on, what are we doing? Like, that's annoying. Like being forced to have to buy the 4-pack minimum, by the way, for almost $40, like shit. Now, I know a lot of that is, you're paying for branding. Like I said, a lot of the creation behind the Lochby was the inserts and the fountain pen friendly paper, but it seems like you're buying into the branding, the cohesion, the perfect compatibility, the seamless look, but it's hard to justify. And I ended up going with both. I have original Lochby inserts and I have the dupes, and I kind of mix and match because the dupes are just way more reasonable, but I wanted to really get the entire experience of the Lochby system. But holy shit, man, did that irk me. I could not find them. Now, if you check, they're stocked up, finally, after God knows how long. I just randomly checked before doing this review. But man, it's quite annoying. Sorry, I feel like I get a little bit too passionate when making these reviews. But I'm looking at this from like a consumer perspective. Like, dude, not everybody, especially in times like this, not everybody has money to be dropping like that. Like, shit is getting expensive, and it's getting more expensive by the day. And it feels like there's no relief anywhere that you look, not in your hobbies, not in your grocery store. Don't even get me started. All right, let's get into con number 3. This aesthetic, specifically the rugged, tactile, wax canvas aesthetic, is not for everyone. A waxed canvas folio is not neutral. This is not neutral. It makes a statement, okay? It's an aesthetic that's rugged, it's functional, it's very outdoorsy. Think like stationary meets survivalist, right? And honestly, that might just not be your thing. And like, it just has a very specific look to it. And if it doesn't resonate with you, right, it might kind of create like a really subtle disconnect that's going to be really hard to ignore for you. Like, no matter how well made it is, if it doesn't meet that kind of stationary aesthetic that you have built for yourself, that creative identity, that's like rugged and it's utilitarian, this isn't going to work for you. It's not like one of those relationships where like, oh, it'll grow on me. Eventually I'll start to like it. You won't. It's going to kind of annoy you when it's sitting on the desk. It's not meant to look pretty. They didn't make it to look pretty. It looks good, but again, utilitarian at heart, rugged, protection, mini command center, notebooks bodyguard. It feels good. And a lot of the stationary gear and like journaling gear that we're used to always leans into beauty, right? Like gold foiled edges, smooth, buttery paper with delicate bookmarks, tools that are always like, they kind of like do that soft whisper. They're like, slow down, be gentle. Yeah, this isn't that. Okay? This isn't that. I'm putting this as a con because of the aesthetic, it kind of lacks that universality that a lot of stationery does. Like the Midori notebooks have that universality, Hobonichi also. Traveler's Notebook, maybe not as much. But the look of the Lochby, the system, that rugged look, the aesthetic, it has to click with you. If it makes you feel like grounded and like Nathan Drake from Uncharted and capable and a creative explorer, then this is your thing. This is it. For me, I'm always about more of the utilitarian use of my stationery. Like, how good does it feel? Am I going to be using my stationery more because of it? Then it's solving that reluctant problem that I didn't even know I had. It makes it a good purchase for me. But if it doesn't for you, if it doesn't solve a problem, And if it doesn't look nice and looks is a priority to you, this is not for you. Okay, 100%. And that's okay. Okay, there are plenty of systems out there for you, and there's a lot of beautiful tools, but this one is just going to speak a different design language. So to wrap things up, this isn't just a notebook cover. Okay, the Lochby is its own journaling system. But the way that it's built is that it's going to be a travel companion. It's meant to be your portable desk. It's meant to be your notebook's bodyguard. The canvas, the waxed canvas, is meant to feel rugged and protective, and it's just, it's hard to give it a hard yes or no, okay? Because it's incredibly useful. It is. But only if you're the kind of person that has use for it. So the value isn't just in the materials or in its build or in the organization. Its value comes from how much it frees you up to write, to plan, to collect your thoughts without hesitation. If this does that for you, then this is invaluable. And from my perspective, like I said, it gained a spot permanently in my stationery rotation. It became invaluable for me. It has reduced that friction in a way that stationery products haven't done for me in a really long time. Again, it's not perfect. We talked about it. We talked about the prices. We talked about the inserts. Maybe they're not your thing, the aesthetic. But I don't want you to mistake this as a tool that you need. Okay? You don't. The 99-cent notebook will give you the same emotional benefit as journaling. But if you're going to spend money on gear, I could not recommend this enough. Like, I could not recommend this anymore if I tried. I genuinely, wholeheartedly stand behind Lochby and their Folio as a product, as a company, their design language, their everything. This is so well done. It really is, and I'm just so happy with it. I really am. I carry it everywhere. I throw it in backpacks when I'm gonna go to a Magic the Gathering night that I'm doing now, or when I'm going to another country. I'm not afraid. This has made my journaling practice almost seamlessly integrate into my life in a way that it didn't before. So this is what this has done for me. It has been such a such an addition to my life that Lochby, keep it up. Keep this up. Hopefully we get more products like this, because it genuinely is amazing. So if you liked that, if you found that helpful, leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Comment down below how you feel about folios. I know a lot of people don't really like them or really care for them. If you have Lochby, like, what's been your experience with the company or their products in general? I would love to hear that in the comments down below. Also, if you don't know, I have been writing on Substack. I have a weekly newsletter that I've been writing to with a lot of fun, more emotional type of content in terms of journaling that I wouldn't normally put on my YouTube channel. If you want to follow that and subscribe, go down below and it will be the first link. Again, thank you guys so much for the support. I love doing this stuff. Hopefully we can keep this going, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.